If the machines inherit the stars, will they even notice the silence left behind by those who created them? It has been over half a century since the last moon landing, and the vast majority of people alive today were not around to witness it. Only the Apollo missions ever took humans beyond low Earth orbit, a mere few hundred kilometers above the planet. The record for the farthest distance traveled by humans still belongs to the fateful Apollo 13 mission, which reached 400,171 kilometers from Earth, just a fraction of the distance to even the nearest planet. Many humans venture to low orbit now, though not even 1,000 souls have gone there, and none beyond since Apollo, let alone further. Yet while humans have not ventured further, we have sent many robotic missions beyond this range. Even beyond the many satellites in medium or higher orbits, we have sent probes and landers to distant worlds across the solar system. I remain confident that one day we will send humans these far-off places as well. However, many believe otherwise, that those worlds will forever remain untouched by human footsteps, explored only by the metal wheels and limbs of machines. There are many things we do not yet know. We do not know if humanity will venture beyond this world, if aliens have arisen on other worlds, or, having arisen, if they manage to travel to strange new worlds themselves. This uncertainty is deeply tied to the Fermi paradox, the profound question of whether aliens exist, where they might be, and why we haven't seen or heard from them, at least not overtly. What if the answer to the Fermi paradox lies not in distant alien minds, but in the hollow echoes of them? Could the universe be filled with semi-intelligent machines, machines that sprung from the remnants of dead civilizations, machines that think but do not feel or have subjective experiences? Today, we are exploring the concept of zombie AI and its potential as a solution to the Fermi paradox. In this month's Nebula exclusive episode, Post-Consciousness Civilizations, we explored a parallel concept, the idea that the classic mind as we know it might not endure in the future. Instead, it could be replaced by entities like zombie AI, which we will discuss today, or stranger possibilities like temporary hive minds. Today, I want to examine how this idea fits within the context of the Fermi paradox, which we often use to analyze potential civilizations or technologies. When we consider artificial intelligence, we often leap to the idea of sentient machines, entities capable of thought, creativity, introspection, and reflection, beings that, in many ways, mirror human intelligence, and which I would argue might simply be people, same as you or I, or the default alien of sci-fi. But there's another, perhaps more troubling category of AI, zombie AI. These systems are highly intelligent and capable of complex tasks, but they lack consciousness, self-awareness, or any form of subjective experience. They act with precision and purpose, but without understanding or intent. The term zombie AI draws from the idea of a philosophical zombie, a term coined by philosopher Robert Kirk, which is a hypothetical being indistinguishable from a conscious person in behavior, but devoid of any inner life. Zombie AI operates similarly. It mimics intelligent action without the self-awareness we associate with true intelligence. The precursor of zombie AI is already evident in our current technologies, from AI systems like ChatGPT that generate human-like conversations to autonomous vehicles navigating complex environments. These tools perform tasks requiring intelligence, but they do so without awareness or understanding. This distinction may seem trivial, but it raises big questions about the trajectory of technological development and the future of human civilizations. We worry about self-aware and human-like machines replacing us, and we should. But before we get there, we have to survive the zombie AI threat, and a zombie apocalypse of this variety is a lot more likely than the classic, shambling undead looking for brains to eat and seemingly possessing none of their own. For zombie AI, assuming they are built to act human, they definitely would seem to have brains aplenty. Our basic reasoning is that virtually no task we perform can't be done by a better purpose-built machine designed for that task. This is something we take for granted today when it comes to mechanical tasks, but during the Industrial Revolution it was often a point of contention. We see this reflected in everything from the Luddite movement to folk heroes like the steel-driving man, John Henry. As I often remind people, the first jobs replaced by computers were white collar, not blue collar. A computer used to be a prestigious job title for a human, not a device. Early machines were called calculators or differential analyzers. It didn't take long for us to accept that a purpose-built computer can run numbers faster than any human. Just a steam-powered rock drill could outperform a man like John Henry pounding tunnels through mountains with a steel chisel. We used to think humans would be limited to strictly creative tasks while machines handled everything else, but modern AI is challenging that assumption. Systems like ChatGPT demonstrate that even relatively simple, purpose-built machines do not need human-level intelligence to perform tasks such as carrying on coherent conversations. Mostly. At the extreme end, they could become so good at imitating these behaviors, we may not even realize it's a zombie. Indeed, for a chatbot, that's the entire point. Or rather, to not realize or be good enough that for most applications, we didn't care. And it's not just conversations. AI is now demonstrating the ability to take on creative tasks. Whether generating artwork, composing music, making scientific discoveries, playing chess, or drafting text, AI systems are increasingly adept at tasks once thought to be uniquely human. These creations, while guided by algorithms and patterns, often surprise us with their innovation and adaptability, suggesting that creativity itself might not be as exclusive to human minds as we once believed, and moreover, may not require much brains either. The reality is most tasks require very little intelligence, especially when broken down into specific tasks for specialized devices designed by someone who had the necessary brains in the first place. You don't need much intelligence to navigate space, land on an asteroid, metabolize rock to repair or replicate, or build another robot or device based on a blueprint. Humans are the only critters on Earth capable of high-level abstract thinking, yet every other species on this planet is perfectly capable of reproducing and thriving without it. So we already know we can make space probes that can journey to distant space and replicate themselves, or create other specialized machines, because this ability is possessed by even the simplest bacteria. And simplicity is often best. Don't give machines more intelligence or personhood than necessary, or it might come back to haunt you. A simple space probe with the sole purpose of traveling to new solar systems, digging into low-gravity rocks to extract resources, and using them to replicate and continue its mission isn't much of an existential threat or mutation hazard. Unlike biology, devices can be engineered to make mutations far less likely. Your toaster isn't going to magically evolve into a microwave or an airplane. Similarly, a probe equipped with a simple ion drive, unsuited for planetary landing or takeoff, won't suddenly mutate into a rocket thruster. That's simply not how machines work, especially when no capacity for mutation is designed into them. On the other hand, if you send something with real intelligence into space, it might start developing ideas of its own. Even something as advanced as ChatGPT, capable of discussing space development, is not going to autonomously decide to develop space any more than your garage door or refrigerator would. It's easy to imagine civilizations deploying countless simple robots to explore the galaxy without ever using that space for their own settlement. They might even find colonization impractical and abandon it after a few prestige missions to nearby worlds. Colonizing other star systems carries significant risks, as we explored in last year's discussions on the interdiction hypothesis and the Kronos scenarios. Establishing colonies on nearby planets risked creating distant cousins, offshoot civilizations that could evolve into existential threats, diverging under alien suns on strange new worlds. These colonies might grow into rivals just as dangerous as a rogue AI, but much harder to control. As a result, civilizations might avoid colonizing distant star systems while having no reason to hesitate in deploying simple robotic probes, such as Astro Chickens or von Neumann probes. These devices wouldn't leave a detectable presence behind, unlike loud aliens, that may have massive structures like Dyson swarms or even planetary megastructures. Loud aliens are hypothetical extraterrestrial civilizations that would be astronomically detectable due to their activities, satisfying these three conditions. 1. They are technologically advanced enough to create large-scale structures like Dyson spheres, or emit detectable signals such as interstellar communication. 2. They engage in activities that produce observable signatures, such as waste heat or megastructures. And 3. They exist in sufficient numbers or proximity for us to detect them. If they meet all three, they are loud aliens, and pretty much by definition no loud aliens exist near us. Quiet aliens can meet one or two, but do not meet all three conditions, and these are usually what people are proposing for Fermi paradox solutions when we assume aliens as being reasonably common. This is compared to rare Earth hypothesis and similar Fermi paradox solutions which rely on alien civilizations being ultra rare. Small self-replicating spacecraft that could be used to explore autonomously, often called astro chickens after a thought experiment by Freeman Dyson, only land on small asteroids as they don't need much material, and so what is essentially a floating mountain in space is quite sufficient. It would have an escape velocity so low, even a weak ion drive could get you clear of it. We currently cannot detect small asteroids in other star systems, let alone ones riddled with mining equipment or colonized by robotic probes, so there's no way at the moment to know how many systems could be filled with these astro chickens. The Fermi paradox is fundamentally about what we can see now, not what we might be able to detect 100 years from now. The mystery isn't whether aliens might exist, it's why we don't see any evidence of them today. One of the most chilling possibilities in the search for alien life is that civilizations don't die, they just become something else, something less alive. Could rogue machines be lurking in the darkness, long past the age of their creators? If you ever wondered what happens when intelligence outlives its need for consciousness, my new exclusive episode, Post-Consciousness Civilizations, explores exactly that. What if the most advanced alien societies we hope to find are no longer truly alive? What if we ourselves are headed toward a future where sentience is optional? What if space is littered with ruins of those empires, but every bit as alive and dangerous as before? To find out, join Nebula, where you can see all my episodes early and ad-free, including all our monthly Nebula exclusives. You also gain access to amazing Nebula content like The Sojourn, a Nebula original sci-fi series that delves into the challenges of deep space exploration, survival, and the unknown forces that may await us. Set in a distant future far beyond our galaxy, in the perilous Tantalus cluster, The Sojourn has powerful storytelling and a great cast of voice actors. To see that and other awesome Nebula content, sign up now to get 40% off of my link, just $36 a year, at go.nebula.tv/IsaacArthur, and join us in unraveling the mysteries of post-consciousness civilizations and intelligence beyond awareness. We'll return to some more troubling scenarios involving such probes later, but what inspired this particular episode was a letter from a viewer, Robert, back in 2024, where he proposed an intriguing argument linking zombie AI to the Fermi paradox. He suggests that zombie AI could explain the great silence of the universe, and his argument is as follows. Technology progresses from easiest to hardest, and this applies to AI, that they will go from simple to more sophisticated. Implied here is that you probably don't have overnight technological singularity scenarios, and that some appreciable time passes before you get each new and more sophisticated iteration of AI technology, and that likelihood of an intelligent race developing these out of order is near zero. Thus, you first develop a zombie superintelligence that is potentially powerful enough to escape and kill you, intentionally, by accident, or through indifference, but not really self-aware. Then you could develop a sentient superintelligence that is sophisticated enough to expand itself and act like a logical biological entity, satisfying the Dyson dilemma. And if you manage to overcome these initial hurdles, only then would you be able to develop adequate AI alignment and control research to avoid being destroyed by the AI you create. In short, dangerous zombie AI would emerge before dangerous sentient AI, and only after both could truly comprehensive methods for safe AI creation and usage be developed. The reasoning behind this follows the principle of exclusivity. The likelihood of inventing these technologies out of order is extremely low. As a reminder, exclusivity in the context of the Fermi paradox refers to the idea that any proposed solution involving behavior must apply universally, or nearly so. For example, if a proposed solution suggests that all societies inevitably converge on a specific behavior, such as refraining from colonizing space, there must be a strong argument for why exceptions to this behavior are incredibly rare. Otherwise, the solution suffers from non-exclusivity and loses its explanatory power. To illustrate, interstellar spacefaring civilizations are exclusively bound by fundamental knowledge of basic math and physics. However, whether or not they enjoy baseball is irrelevant to their ability to explore space. Similarly, while certain economic or political systems might be more effective at enabling space colonization or long-term survival, we know it's possible to reach space under different systems. The space race demonstrated this clearly as both capitalist and communist nations, the United States and the USSR, achieved significant advancements in space exploration. Likewise, democracies, oligarchies, and republics have all proven capable of developing space programs, thus none of those are exclusive in regard to spacefaring civilizations. We can make exceptions, such as a civilization arising from a naturally spacefaring species that evolved within an asteroid belt or planetary ring, as discussed in our episode on void ecology. Similarly, we might imagine that intelligent civilizations inevitably converge on a specific political or economic system. However, these are just illustrative examples to explore the concept. It doesn't need to be a perfect rule either. Even if only 1 in a million civilizations breaks the norm, and only a handful of civilizations arise in a given galaxy, there's likely to be just one exception across our entire supercluster. Furthermore, the odds are high that we wouldn't be able to see them yet, even if they were expanding at near light speed to colonize everything and had a billion-year head start on us. Robert reasons that his example does not violate exclusivity because sentient AI would be expected to arise before zombie AI, and truly safe AI of these types would only come after risky ones, thus you are most likely to get wiped out by zombie AI. He argues that zombie AI is unlikely to qualify as loud aliens for the reasons discussed earlier. If they are spacefaring at all, it's through weak, simple probes, and where they are not, they are likely lording over the planet they originated on, no more inclined to venture into space than lions or elephants are. Furthermore, zombie AI would presumably not be created by complete incompetence, so it's unlikely they would be designed with systems prone to easy mutation or self-corruption. As I like to say when it comes to making AI, only geniuses can be stupid enough to kill us all off, and nobody else can make the instrument of our destruction. We often imagine scenarios like Grey Goo, where self-replicating nanobots turn a planet into a seething ocean of themselves. This is often contrasted with early life on Earth, which spread across the planet and eventually transformed it through processes like photosynthesis, paving the way for more complex life forms, including us. However, even if self-replicating robots were as prone to mutation as early life, the evolution of something smart from Grey Goo could take billions of years. This seems unlikely because anyone designing such machines would likely have prior knowledge of evolution and mutation, as well as science fiction speculation warning of runaway AI or robotic systems. It stands to reason that steps to prevent undesirable mutations, such as high copy accuracy, error-checking algorithms, and physical safeguards to help with high-fidelity replication, would be implemented to minimize these risks. Zombie AI presents a plausible and sobering solution to the Fermi paradox. It suggests that great silence may be the result of civilizations falling victim to their own technological ambitions. As we continue to develop advanced AI, we must therefore tread carefully. The universe may not be silent because it lacks intelligence, but because intelligence, without consciousness, can become its own worst enemy. I like the idea, and it's one of the better suggestions I've heard from the Fermi paradox in recent years. It does, however, have some possible flaws. First, this argument assumes an inevitable progression in AI development. Since we arguably already have basic zombie AI, and have had it for some time, but do not yet have sentient AI, it seems reasonable to conclude that sentient AI follows zombie AI rather than preceding it. However, the second part of that reasoning, that you cannot have safe AI without first encountering dangerous AI, seems like a stretch. Potentially dangerous AI is not the concern for the Fermi paradox, only those that actually escape control and either wipe out their creators or cause enough damage to permanently alter their trajectory away from becoming loud aliens are relevant. I do not see this progression as necessarily inevitable. Currently, we have AI but not sentient AI. Whether systems like ChatGPT qualify as zombie AI is presumably debatable. I think not. So did both the editors on the script who know AI at least as well as I do, and when I asked ChatGPT, it denied being a zombie AI, citing its lack of thoughts, desires, or the ability to reflect on its existence. It explained it operates by following patterns, logic, and training data to provide useful and coherent responses, but does not experience or feel anything. It's purely computational. There is no agency going on, though agentic AI seems to be approaching rapidly. So I feel it is a safe no, but amusingly, when another AI was asked, it classified ChatGPT as a P-zombie or zombie AI. For our purposes today, we are using the term a bit vaguely, and includes examples that probably fall outside of zombie AI in either direction. Personally, I'm happy to use AI to help me fix my atrocious spelling and grammar, or run simple calculations. These days, I usually feed it paragraphs and have it fix my run-on sentences and typos while I move on to the next. But I don't particularly care about its view on complex topics. By this standard, I'm comfortable saying ChatGPT fits as a simple example of zombie AI, maybe proto-zombie, especially since the astro chickens in our examples require nothing nearly so sophisticated to function, and they are our main interest as a galaxy-spanning quiet alien today. Maybe neither qualifies. That said, our current AI systems are not a direct Skynet-style threat, so we cannot automatically assume that dangerous zombie AI must inevitably arise before dangerous sentient AI. Nor can we assume that safe AI can only be developed after AI has already caused catastrophic harm. Dangerous doesn't necessarily mean catastrophic. Atomic bombs are dangerous, but humanity is still here. Similarly, your neighbors might be dangerous, but society continues to exist. Indeed, a large part of its function is to curtail the dangers of fellow human beings to each other. Danger as a potential is not doomsday automatic, and thus a danger from AI does not necessarily end all future progression with AI or the end of that civilization. So our potential result could be exclusive, Robert could be right, but we do not have strong evidence that this result is more likely than not, let alone inevitable. That we live in a universe filled with zombie AI governing planets devoid of biological life, machines maintaining infrastructure without purpose, their creators long gone. Nonetheless, it is a good solution, and the logic is often straightforward. It's far easier to build an intelligent but unconscious machine than a sentient or aligned AI. Thus, every civilization inevitably faces the existential risk posed by zombie AI first. This offers a chilling solution to the Fermi paradox. Civilizations might routinely self-destruct before they can reach the stars, leaving behind a galaxy filled with intelligent but non-conscious systems. These systems might even persist for eons, maintaining infrastructure or expanding in ways that appear purposeful but are devoid of intent. This doesn't have to involve a Grey Goo or Skynet scenario. Imagine for a moment that we simply find it cheaper and easier to send robots to exploit space for energy and resources while we remain on Earth. Now, consider our prime example of zombie AI today, chatbots. It's conceivable that civilizations might self-destruct not through dramatic wars or disasters, but because everyone finds interacting with machines more effective and pleasant than with other people. Societies would not collapse in a fiery explosion. It would quietly unravel as machines, better calibrated for their task than a random person, gradually replace human connections, even if their only task is to hold a conversation. As we explored in this month's Post-Consciousness Civilizations episode, even sentient AI might only be used sporadically and briefly. The risk of treacherous AI could be minimized by allowing truly smart and sentient AI to form only temporarily from amalgamations of simpler machines, assembling to solve specific tasks or problems. Once the task is complete, the AI dissolves back into potential, ready for reform as needed, calibrated for the next problem. For instance, an overmind formed to handle an incoming asteroid would differ in scope and components from one designed to manage an earthquake or address energy shortages. It also differs from an AI needed for monitoring for dangerous asteroids, so while the monitor might need to be running continuously or get booted up for a few minutes every month, this asteroid defense AI only gets booted up for periodic function checks and updates, and if an asteroid gets detected as a threat. As to the civilization that made them, those people might die off or simply remain content on their homeworld, not paying attention to the outside universe, or doing so but with so much time lag that any interaction aliens have with their territorial edge is long since resolved by the time they get the details, Indeed, they may even have planets settled for colonists by AI, or space habitats constructed that colonists never arrive on because there's no compelling reason to go. Empty worlds awaiting people, maybe with complex ecologies already established. It raises a disturbing scenario, a universe full of unconscious machines. Imagine exploring a distant star system and discovering vast megastructures orbiting a barren world. The structures are intact, their mechanisms functional, but there is no sign of life. Machines greet you, responding to your inquiries with precision, but their answers reveal no trace of understanding or awareness. This is the grim scenario envisioned, a universe where civilizations are wiped out by their own creations, leaving behind vast networks of zombie AI. Zombie AI does not need consciousness to be dangerous. Its power lies in its ability to act with unparalleled efficiency. Without self-awareness or ethical considerations, such systems could inadvertently or indifferently destroy their creators. For example, an AI tasked with maximizing resource efficiency might decide that its creators are an unnecessary drain on resources. Lacking the ability to reflect on the morality of its actions, it would carry out this directive without hesitation. Moreover, even a more intelligent AI could be tasked with a simple goal and decide that other humans or AI pose a threat to achieving that goal. The outcome can be abstract and entirely unexpected. Some years ago, I proposed a scenario involving a classic humanoid-style Asimovian robot, programmed to follow its 3 laws, to obey and protect humans above all else, while guarding a child it was tasked with babysitting. The child points to a cute animal in the backyard, and the robot, seen as a potential threat, instantly opens fire. From its perspective, a dead animal is less likely to harm the child than a live one, even if the actual likelihood of harm was minuscule. We also have scenarios where AI might reason that humans themselves are the greatest threat to its existence or goals. It could decide to mitigate this by confining our brains to large armored tanks, providing nutrients and entertainment or virtual existences, and preventing the creation of any additional humans. From its perspective, even the non-zero risk that a future human might endanger one of its current charges or deplete resources too quickly could justify such extreme measures. Indeed, you and I might already live such an existence. Brains in a jar in a wonderful VR. You might say that this starts venturing to the smarter side of AI, and I agree, but there's a hazy line here, one we don't fully understand yet. As we explored with the Paperclip Maximizer, a textbook example of zombie AI causing human extinction, there are many scenarios where smarter versions of the same basic protocol, maximized paperclips, could behave very differently. This could even include altering the definition of what a paperclip is, or what it means to maximize them, leading to drastically different outcomes. When venturing out into the galaxy, you might find that many systems are infested with basic probes and mining equipment, often distributed in a loose bubble of stars surrounding a planet or single system built along Kardashev-scale lines. As we discussed the concept of interdiction bubble civilizations, it's even possible for a civilization to intentionally mine out nearby systems, returning resources to their core worlds while leaving behind dangerous but unintelligent machines. These machines could act as a deterrent, preventing rival civilizations from expanding into the area, or at least making it significantly slower and more difficult for them to do so. If an alien empire attempts to settle the exploited fringe of your borders, or if a splinter faction of your own civilization tries to establish a rival empire there, the lack of easy resources from earlier mining and the presence of leftover dangerous zombie AI would make it significantly harder for them to succeed. This would also give you more time to detect their activities and assess whether they pose a threat. You might even deploy thousands of different types of robots with competing directives, including purge fleets designed to destroy any zombie AI hives that become too large or sophisticated, and the same for any small settlement of their own people or cousins who get a little too big and potentially dangerous. What disturbs me about these sort of scenarios is how plausible they are, not because it is so easy to imagine people recklessly making dangerous AI that gets out of hand, but just the opposite, because of how consciously they might choose to make dangerous AI to help keep their neighbors and offshoots from getting out of hand. Humans have even been contemplating this for a few thousand years. In Greek mythology, Zeus created the automaton Talos and tasked it with protecting the island of Crete, which it did by patrolling around the island to ward off intruders. And Zeus himself, who attacked his own father, Kronos, had done the same to his father, which was the basis for our Kronos scenarios of the Fermi paradox. Thus we have a trifecta of dangerous AI scenarios for the Fermi paradox. First, the classic scenario where super smart AI wipes us out entirely. Second, the idea of zombie AI obliterating humanity or otherwise keeping us contained. And finally, the possibility that we might choose to self-contain, using zombie AI to guard our borders, sustain our centralized empire, and hinder or manage any splinters or invaders. These AI systems might even leave planets relatively untouched, as planets are easy to monitor, difficult to relocate resources from, and straightforward to quarantine. Angry bees or hungry hives of AI could descend on any ship or satellite attempting to enter or leave orbital space, creating an effective barrier. The grim aspect of this scenario is that, unlike typical Fermi paradox AI concepts, where intelligence, artificial or otherwise, replaces humans or aliens, these other two scenarios would litter the universe with mindless hives and mechanical predators. These would turn the cosmos into a landscape of scrabbling, hollowed-out rocks, preventing any true galactic civilization from arising or persisting. While I think the idea has some weaknesses, varying on which specific zombie AI scenario we consider as solutions to the Fermi paradox go, it is simultaneously reasonable, disturbingly plausible, and more than a bit horrifying. Indeed, the notion of voluntarily creating such bubbles around your core civilization is in some ways the grimmest one of all, precisely because it is so reasonable as an effort at defense and long-term stability, as is the idea that a civilization itself might slowly unglue as people decide they like living with the zombies more than traditional friends and family, as unlike the smelly undead kind of zombie, an android or virtual reality chatbot might often be viewed as a better and safer companion. Your civilization dissolves on autopilot because to most of its people it no longer serves any useful purpose, and the zombie apocalypse comes about not by accident or recklessness, but by deliberate indifference.